cycle. I just might though, just like a Michael. Mama gone now, I'm thinking death is not we entitled. And it was me versus me, them battles had to fight through. And when you way in the dark, them demons try to fight you. But you can't let them when you gotta see the damn light. Diabetes came from nowhere, messed up whole life. That's what I used to think, my mama helped me out. I got one dear in this guy to make proud, don't count me out. Let's get it started, rest in peace my mama, I don't wanna talk. Fresh fit, who that little nigga, fresh the way he walk. New drip, I'm that one dude creating all the sauce. News flip, you that one do the worker, not a boss. It's safe to say that after all this, I'm standing tall. It's safe to say that after all this, I'm still gon' ball. It's safe to say that after all this, I never fall. I never fall.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It is your girl, Survivor Speaks, and I am back with a candid conversation. With one of my favorites. Am I on the right child? I struggle streaming already. I think I'm on the right screen. I think I am. Am I on the right live? Yeah, because I see Jim here. So let's get right to it. I don't know. Did I go in the right live? Or am I in the wrong live? I might be in the right live. I'm on the wrong screen, maybe. Yep, on the wrong screen. Give me 1 second. Here we go. I was on the wrong screen, y'all. What's up? So this is your favorite breast cancer survivor. Survivor Speaks. Hey, how y'all doing? Back with the dope exclusive sit-down conversation with the Clapback King. That's my name, the name I gave him. And it's not up for dispute or debate. So the happily angry attorney is here, and we're going to have a conversation. So in a world where injustice screams from every headline, where courtrooms feel more like circuses than halls of justice, today we've seen it all. Well, let's be clear. The YSL trial redefined top-tier absurdity. Prosecutors playing fast and loose with the rules, rights trampled on like a weekend flea market, and yet nothing is more beautiful than the justice system America promises. So when it actually works, though, because we have a lot of people that are in a part of the justice system right now, and they're not doing the right thing. With the power that they have over people's lives, right? So we love when judges judge, when evidence matters, when the law isn't a suggestion but a shield for the innocent. All right, so that's why we fight. That's why today's guest doesn't just practice law, he bodies it. So a man who treats motions to dismiss, you'll understand what I mean in a minute, like personal love letters. So a lawyer so sharp. I think when he thoughts his emotions, he makes judges check their notes, rethink why they became judges. And they need to recheck the paperwork. Because some of these judges aren't looking over paperwork when they're reading through it. They're just skimming through it, adding the law to it. I'm not saying all. I have some judges that are my favorites. That I love the way they referee over their courtroom. That's how I like to look at judges as referees as well. Because that's actually what they do. They sit behind the bench, they referee. So, So the only co-counsel that daily is with Jim is his dog. I got a question to ask him about the dog. So, ladies and gentlemen, Survivor Speaks is honored to welcome back the attorney who happily fights angry. He's a legal legend to me. I'll tell you why. During our conversation, the meme-worthy maybe. He deserves a meme. I'm gonna see if we can make that happen. The one and only. We affectionately call him Jim, but he's James Robichaud. I hope I didn't butcher your last name, Jim, but we know him as the happily angry lawyer across these socials. So let me bring on Jim. Hey, Jim!
Hey, everybody. Good to see you again.
What's going on?
It's been a busy week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jim, you looking kind of like you've had it.
I've been working a lot. I'm happy though.
Your camera's now today your camera is a little blurry. Now you weren't clear last time. That this is not our first time here, and I'm so upset because we had such a great conversation the last time. So I'm supposed to repurpose that information, but I was talking to someone about our last conversation, and we talked about some things that she didn't know, and I was like, wow, you didn't hear that? It is true. Someone that follows you, that loves you, also though, she does follow you. She's a mod here on my channel, and I love her for all that she's done, that she does, and she is here. And it's Allie. Allie, thank you so much for being here and for always being in the chat. We got Kat, not Williams. Kat is in the chat. What up, Kat? Allie, have your drop Kat's link in the chat. Be sure that you are dropping Jim's link in the chat as well. We got Nessa C up in the house. Thank you, Nessa, for being here. AOBD, what's going on? What's up? Cat Not Williams said, Jim, what's up? Allie said, what's up, Jim? And AOBD says, yo. So we're going to get right to it because I know how Jim feels about his time, right?
My what?
Your time. You know, I'm conscious of your time because I know, sometimes, things can get long-winded. What did you say, Jim?
You're more conscious of I sound underwater?
Huh?
I saw Kat said there's something wrong with how it sounds.
Yeah, you are coming. Can you guys hear Jim okay?
I got it.
I'm not sure. You got it?
Wait, no, that's not it either.
All right, there you go, Jim. There you go. You're clear now. Okay, you're clear now. Your camera's just a little blurry, but we can work through it.
I just look like that.
Cat Now Williams say AOBD. So this is not our first time speaking, Jim. I'm just talking to the people, speaking to the people in the chat while you're fixing your camera, if you can. So this is not our first time talking. We had a conversation, and my camera was jacked up at the end, and I have Jim is the reason why I had to go out there and get me some new camera equipment. So thank you for that, Jim.
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. You didn't do it. No, you did not. But you were the catalyst.
I was implicated.
You were the catalyst behind the reason why I'm like, you know what? The conversation was just too good. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, I have to take this down because it was bothering me. I mean, I couldn't really see myself at all, and I just was like, this is not happening, but it happened, and it is. So
it was still a good conversation. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we do. I still have the conversation. I'm definitely going to repurpose that, and I am going to ask a question about that conversation because Allie was like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know that, as it relates to Mounk Tounk. So happily angry attorney is Mounk Tounk's co-counsel with the
Fit lawyer.
Oh my God, the Fit lawyer ATL, Tiffany. So they work together on Mounk Tounk's case. However, me and Jim had been conversating before he decided to take that case. He didn't know. He was undecided. He kept saying, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know." But he was going over the paperwork where he was pointing out so many inconsistencies and errors. It was horrible. And so I coined him the Clapback King. Follow him on Twitter. You will see why I call him that, because he seems really reserved here. Jim, you know, I'm going to call you out on this. You seem really reserved here. But on Twitter, sometimes they ask him questions, and I think he types back the first thing that comes to his mind, and his clapbacks are epic. I love it.
No, you can ask questions. You can ask questions. People ask questions.
People do ask you questions, and you give them
nice.
the business, especially when it's needed.
Not always. I'm nice too.
No, you are. You are. You do. You know. Teach the law. Y'all follow Jim here on YouTube. His link will be down in the chat. He did start a YouTube channel. Now, Jim, I had already manifested you at 3,000 something subscribers. At the time, I was so excited. I was talking about you during a different live, and I'm like, okay, he's not there yet, so that's where you're going. We already know that, but congratulations on having the 1K plus subscribers that you have. I had no idea how. What did you say?
Do I have 1,000 plus?
Yes, you did.
That. Nice.
I had to check. Congratulations to you, Jim. I had to check because I had you at 3K. That's where you're going. That's where you're headed, right? And I had you at 3K, so I had to check today. So you are at 1K plus. So congratulations to you on that. And that's a correction on my part. Shout out to Don, that's Boom Boom that came up in the room. Shout out to you, and shout out to Don, who is never here, and we know that. We love Don over here. So Jim is Antonio Sledge's Mounk Tounk counsel. So we do have some questions. I have some questions regarding that.
Me too.
So the first question that I have to ask you before that is I'm going to ask you about the furry legal genius. You don't have him in the camera, so that's why I keep asking about him, because we love him. Do you pay him in the does he bill you by the hour, or do you pay him in treats? Your furry legal genius over there. I'm talking about your dog, Jim. Do you pay him? Does he bill you an hourly or in treats?
He just takes whatever he wants.
I love it.
So last time, credit card, whatever he wants.
Oh my goodness! Sounds like one of my kids. So last time, you were happily angry about count 30, and now it's happily dismissed. Can you explain to the chat what count 30 consists? What was count 30 in the as it related to Antonio Sledge's case, and walk us through what do you think Judge Whitaker's logic was when she read that, and when she only dismissed count 30, because you filed more than one motion, right, to have the case dismissed, right? Or you filed explain that to us legally, because I'm gonna jack it up. I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It wasn't a dismissal. It was just a reduction. Let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
So in the original indictment, he was charged with simplified, we'll just call it possession of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And that carries a sentence of up to 10 years. Then in the re-indictment, there was a change to count 30, and it kind of halfway changed the charge from possession of a gun to, I don't know how to describe it, possession of a gun during a felony. So the first one is just having a gun. The second one is having it during a felony. And that carries a 15-year sentence, a mandatory 15-year sentence. And the thing is, they didn't actually change anything except for the name of the crime. So they didn't actually accuse him of having the gun during the commission of a felony.
Mm-hmm.
So the maximum sentence was, in theory, 10 years. So, among other things, what we did with count 30 in this motion to vacate a void sentence was point out the problems in sentencing, namely that he was convicted of a crime that he didn't commit. And we asked the court to vacate the sentence, and that's the simple answer. So we vacated a sentence. The court did, and then put in a new sentence. They put, she sentenced him to 5 years. And there are some issues with that as well. So we'll be filing another motion, maybe probably this week.
So it's count 30 now dispense. So this, let me see if I understand what you're saying. So initially he was charged with possession of a handgun.
Yep.
So they redid the charges, and what they charged him with was possession of a pow. I forgot that we got to say pow on here. Pew pew. I said 22. Pew pew in the act of a felony. So it was changed the charge. That's
yeah,
the way to put it.
Yeah, they took his money too. That was fun. Yeah, that's right.
Wow. And so I'm just clarify for me even. So now you're saying that
they just fixed his sentence basically. It was 10 years. I mean, sorry, it was 15 years.
Right.
And it was reduced to 5 years.
Oh, okay. So is it like a wash basically? Because he was already sentenced.
Yeah, so they got rid of the old sentence, and then they put in a new sentence of 5 years. So the sentence is 10 years shorter than it was before.
Oh, okay. I got you. So I was confusing the 15 with the 10. Okay.
I was too. I was too, actually. There were more problems than there were before.
No, it's not you, Allie. I think
Me? Did I do something?
Yeah, your audio is a little choppy. You're saying, yeah, I hear it going in and out, but I thought it was just me. I don't know what's going on.
Man, you have the worst luck.
Me, right? Yeah, I don't know. Allie, am I choppy, or is he just choppy? Or anybody in the chat that can answer. All right. So I do understand that. Thank you so much for that clarification.
Sorry, I can't. It's one of those things where so much is wrong that it's hard to even talk about without saying something I shouldn't say.
Shouldn't say, exactly. So that I don't want you to do that.
Yeah, I mean.
So have you heard anything as it relates to the other motions that you filed that you can speak of, or no?
Yeah, we haven't filed anything else. That's the only one. There are a few different things we were talking about filing. This was the version that, I'll say this. So from the beginning, we were trying to get Antonio out this month.
Okay.
This goes back to December, I think, because he has 2 kids graduating high school in May.
Wow.
And he promised himself that he wouldn't be in jail or locked up for his kids' graduation. And that was my goal personally, was to make sure he was there. The latest motion we filed was the nicest, most non-controversial version of the motion that we had. I took out everything wrong that they did. My motion went from 35 pages to 16, and it was all the stuff that the state would be upset about, or that would be controversial. And this was the most pared down version that we had. We didn't talk about all the illegal things that they did, all the unethical things that were done, all their constitutional rights that were violated. This was the nice version, and didn't get far enough. And so now we get to talk about that stuff. So if everyone thinks it was bad before, that was the nice version. That was the cleaned up version. Talk about all the lies and
your I don't know why your audio is cutting out. It seems like when you talk a certain way, it's fine, and then you turn another way and it cuts out.
Let me try. Can you hear me okay now?
What happened?
Can you hear me okay now? This is a different microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm just cooking too much today. It's too much for the mic to handle. No, I was saying that I don't know how much you heard, but
yeah, I heard that you wanted to get him out because he has 2 children graduating this month, and you kind of watered down as best you could to make nice, because it always helps, right?
Yeah, I mean,
to try and still nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I have a list of constitutional. I'm not going to show my list, but I have a list of constitutional rights that were violated, dating back to. I mean, if I went all the way back to 2008, and it's just been a continuous. Yeah, I'd say comedy of errors. It wasn't funny, but at this point, it's like they just can't do anything. Everything's illegal. Everything that they do is wrong, and when they try to fix stuff, they make it more wrong, and we're going to get a little bit aggressive now. We didn't want to. The goal was to get him out, to avoid any argument so we could get him out in May. But, well, I mean, it's time to have the full discussion now.
So I like the fact that you said it's time to get aggressive now, because now he's missed his children's graduation and, and things like that. So
I haven't given up on that yet.
So this is the question. Is it going to be live streamed? I want to ask that.
I don't know yet,
Oh, well, I hope so. Catnap Williams, we need you to get on that, okay? Because Catnap Williams she's doesn't personally know, but she has that relationship over there with law and crime. Well, so this is not like it's federal court. So the public has a vested interest in this whole case, and then when you break the case down and as it relates to Antonio Sledge, we are also vested in this part of the YSL case, which should be over for him.
It's gonna get some I think it'll get some attention. I think it'll open some eyes. If there is a hearing, I think there's a pretty good chance it'll be live streamed, just because there has been quite a bit of interest in his case. But names will be named. I think that there's a good chance that it'll get live streamed.
I love that, and and not just that, and maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't want to get anything mixed up and have it be said that Jim says something, because I'm feeling away, because I remember the hearing when they rearrested him, and he was not ready. He didn't think that he was going to be rearrested, and I think that that the prosecution, they should be held accountable for all of this, because this is a bunch of injustice. Now, if these men committed crimes, then that would be fine. But it's just crazy. I was having a conversation with Ali about how you went through Mounk Tounk's paperwork way before this case and found errors, even charges that he was charged with that he should not have been charged with. Somebody, I don't think just taking somebody's bar license is enough. I think that they know what they're doing and that they should actually face time. It would be one thing if it was a mistake, but this is a pattern at this point. So somebody knowingly knows that they are that this is they are doing this knowingly. They know what they are doing. I feel like they feel they have a bunch of men that don't have enough money to fight for themselves. So now that you have all of these great attorneys that are lending some, their time to some of the less fortunate. We're not talking about, Jeffrey Williams. He had Brian Steele and the money to pay Brian Steele, and some of the others, had money to pay some of these attorneys. But the attorneys, shout out to y'all, because some of you guys have taken these cases pro bono just because of the injustices that you see.
Yeah. I like money too, don't get me wrong. But yeah,
we know that.
I mean, it's the revocation hearing. First of all, if you read it carefully, he was never accused of violating the special conditions of his probation, either in writing or orally. They never actually accused him of it. They came very close and they implied it, but they never actually accused him of anything. And then at the hearing, they never accused him of it. And his sentence doesn't indicate which violation he violated, or which condition of his probation he violated. So he was never actually accused of anything, not even accused of violating any condition of his probation. But somehow he's spending 5 years in prison for it.
We all know it was because of love. She didn't show up in court that day for the regular proceedings, but she made sure to walk in her tan leather jacket, motorcycle jacket. And if you notice that they were trying to ask her to be a part of the hearing, and she was like, no, I'll let you guys handle that. Like, basically, my hands are clean in this. No, your hands aren't clean. The only reason why I think that Antonio Sledge is incarcerated is because he hurt Love's feelings. What say you?
I almost said something. Yeah, I mean, at least she showed up. I mean, I went to Atlanta. She didn't even show up, so that's better than what I got.
She's not around anymore. I don't think you don't have to say anything. I don't want you to get in trouble.
No, I'll say it. I'll say this: every single word that her fundamental premise in the 3-4 days of questioning that she had him for, the entirety of it was a lie.
Yeah.
Everything was a lie. Everything she said was dishonest. If it wasn't a lie, it was dishonest. Objectively. It's not my opinion. It's just an observable fact. And nobody saw it. Nobody noticed.
Noise.
But I'm sorry. Maybe I'm getting too loud or something.
No, you're not. No. I was reading Kat's. Go ahead. It was something already passed. So go ahead. No, you sound fine.
There's something about the plea agreement, and it's not the thing that was discussed. It was not the, what factual acknowledgments. God, Kat, you're so smart. That makes sense too. What was I going to say? That's my train of thought.
So you was talking about Love when he was on the stand.
It was dishonest. I mean, it was okay, right. I was talking about how there was the factual acknowledgments. Everybody was discussing the factual acknowledgments and whether they were in or they were not. But that misses the point. There's a bigger problem than that with the plea agreement. And there are countless bigger problems than that in the plea agreement. You don't need to get all the way down into the details. There's a much more fundamental problem with it. And I think everyone was so distracted by the details that they didn't notice the bigger issue. And this state was just saying nonsensical things to Antonio. And he noticed this right away. He was the only one who did, but he was the only one in the courtroom who noticed these things. But he did notice those things, and he knew that he was being lied to. He was being misled, and he knew that everyone else was being misled. And he was confused because after 3 days of hearing gibberish shouted at him angrily, I mean, he was confused, and he doesn't know what happened, and I don't know what happened either, because what was being said by the state was just untrue. It wasn't even close to true. It didn't even like get close to the truth. It was nonsense. It was ridiculous. It was a farce, and I probably said too much there, but that's okay. Those are the sorts of things that we'll be getting into in the motion this week. It was ridiculous. It was criminal.
I do remember him trying to stop Love from saying certain things. He kept saying, is she supposed to be, man, my brain hurts. And I remember him saying that type of stuff, and I think that we all took it as everybody remember Woody being on the stand. It was comical, right? So when Mounk Tounk got on the stand, everybody was comparing him to Woody. And I think that may have played a part in it. But I remember when she started talking about the Alfred plea that he took. She's not supposed to, and he definitely spoke up about that. But I'm gonna say this, and this is not coming from Jim. This is not coming from the happily angry lawyer. This is the opinion of Survivor Speaks. It was like Mounk Tounk was sitting on the stand without any attorney in that room. I don't care what anybody says. That's just my thought. I get it. All the excuses of being in the hospital and all of that. It was horrible. It was hard to watch. And then another thing that was very hard, I'll never forget when it comes to that attorney, is how you said one thing, and when it was time to speak up for your client, you backpedaled. I did not like that. He backpedaled. And I know that you took up for him before. I'm just saying what I saw and what I feel Survivor Speaks. What I saw. You said one thing about Love, and then you backpedaled when it was brought to the front. So it made it further look like Mounk Tounk was lying. That's not what he said.
The thing, everyone thinks he said like my head hurts, and he was like, he was confused. He wasn't confused because he's like dumb or because he didn't understand. He was confused because nobody else understood. It's extremely obvious if you know what you're looking for. And once I point it out to everybody, you'll immediately see the problem, and you'll immediately know that it's. You can look at the face of his plea agreement and see multiple reasons to know that that the state was wrong and that Antonio was right.
To me, I think it's a bunch of theatrics that goes on when it comes to the state and certain characters. Love definitely uses a bunch of theatrics to hope to get the jury to look at what she's doing and not what she's saying. Because the whole rant she went on when Mounk Tounk was on the stand was Brian Steele there when you took your plea agreement? Was this one there when you took your plea agreement? And she's walking back and forth and on the mic like like he's her child, and then he says, "Hold on, don't talk to me like that. I'm not your child. I don't care if you was in the room." He said Doug was in the room. I don't care about none of that. I would have said exactly what it is that I said, and that's one of the things that pissed her off. And then he kept looking at Whitaker, and Whitaker kept. Because he did this Love. He did kind of. It was one question and he answered it, and she asked the question a different way. And she said, "Well, Miss Love, he did kind of answer that question." And Mounk Tounk just sat back and he looked at her and he said, "She said you can answer." Love says you can answer, and she said you overruled. I fell out. It's the funniest thing because overruled means that. He can answer the question, but he was so frustrated. He said, and a lot of people took that as, and I also did. I laughed at it, because it was funny because he's not just gonna. He didn't just sit there and take it, but it was like his attorney was not present.
Yeah, I mean, he has limited. There are limited things he can do, but as far as the plea agreement, I mean, she kept saying the plea agreement as if there's only one plea agreement. There's more than one plea agreement, so I hope she's talking about the right one.
Oh yeah, because there's more than one, right? They did a
Yeah.
switcheroo thing. She did a switcheroo thing. We all know about that. That's not nothing that it wouldn't be like you're telling us anything that we don't know. We all know about that switcheroo thing.
I don't think anyone. I don't think they do. There's more.
Well, we don't know that. I don't think we know like all of the particulars, but I believe Mounk Tounk did say this is not. Something has changed. He made mention on the stand that something was not right.
Yeah.
He kept saying that.
He was right.
He kept saying.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he didn't want to sign it, he wanted certain things changed, and Love told him, "Oh, just come to court and testify, and we'll be able to change the stuff when you come to court to testify." So basically, no, he signed it already, right?
Yeah, that was an issue. That was an issue earlier on. Actually, no, that's another issue. That's just, there's so many. You can pick anything and it'll be wrong. You're right that there's an issue with the signing. There are a lot of problems with the
so I don't want you to talk about anything, like I said, that's going to get you in trouble. So I guess we'll have to wait for those.
There are just so many layers of things that are wrong that sometimes I lose track of what the implications are to each one.
Wow.
So if we have say we have a void order and we want to vacate it, but the one beneath it is also void, you have to figure out how to get to a legal order, and it can be complicated. Like there are issues with there are issues with the latest sentence that he has. I'm not going to get into the details on those, but
don't.
Figuring out even how to fix those is difficult, just because it is itself fixing a sentence that has problems with it. So, I mean, I figured it out, but it was hard.
I just hope I hope he gets some relief soon, because it is a pretty sad thing, to see, and I'm pretty sure like his children graduating was a pretty big thing for him, especially when, if he did get into some legal issues before, he had changed his life around. It's disheartening.
Yeah, he had a business. He had a small business that he had started. It was very boring. It was very much not. It was a shipping business. He did like some trucking work. He was very much not, out there doing whatever he was alleged to have done. He was a dad in a house with his kids. And that's what he wants to go back to. And he is leaving. There's another whole issue with his sentence that relates to the revocation itself, that it's entirely separate from everything we've done so far, that I think can maybe be used to get him out in the very near future.
I can't wait. I do want to ask you, so isn't it illegal to have someone, and we can look at not everyone that signs a plea deal, but when you know that someone is signing a plea deal under duress, isn't it kind of like illegal for you to kind of like push that? Is that something that you guys are going to use? Because we know that his mom was sick at the time, and he in fact lost his mother when he did get out, and he wanted to get out to take care of his mother. The state knew that, and they kind of used that also to get him to sign.
I don't think we're not saying it. I don't know that it's going to be I don't know if you even need that.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I think it's very clear. It was very clearly coercive. The timing of it. I mean, they started negotiations. I think either the November 30th, I think, and then the state's selling Young Thug's Lamborghinis in December. Don't get to them before Christmas. And then was doing something in the Lambos. I don't remember what it was selling. It might have been at the Aventador. I can't remember. But then on December 27th, so after he spends Christmas in Rice Street, they're ready to negotiate. And sometime between Christmas and December 28th, when he got out, he was no longer a threat to society anymore, which is really impressive. That between December 26th, apparently, he managed to rehabilitate himself in that really very narrow 48-hour window. That was very good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Right, and so,
we don't need it. That's the short answer. We probably won't get
that.
there.
I mean, that is correct. That is correct. That you won't even need that. That was just a question. I had that question. Like, we all know that, and we heard that. It you can tell it's not alive. The man's mom passed away right afterwards, and I know that they knew that. So that was just a question that always was in my head. Like, can they?
It was a little later. It was she actually lived until she passed away in early 2024. So that was the year of the testimony. It was last year. It was spring of 24. So that was
right. But he wanted to take care of her because she was sick, though.
Yep.
So
that's right.
With the time, I there's some truth to it. Like, he wanted to take care of his mother. He turned his life around, and I don't think they liked the fact that he had those shirts made. I know they hated the fact that he had those T-shirts, his merch that he was selling. I don't think they liked that too much.
I don't like a lot of things they did, so we'll see.
Yeah, we don't care.
I don't like going to Atlanta and being stood up for meetings. That's what I don't like. But I'm sorry about the T-shirts.
You said stood up for meetings?
Yes, I went to Atlanta for a meeting and they just blew up the meeting. So if they want to talk about professionalism, that's fine.
So you went to Atlanta, from California to Atlanta, and they knew.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who individually. I mean, you can probably find out.
We're not going to do that. I got you. But they knew you were coming, and they blew the meeting. That is so. What a team of professional people that they're working with Fulton County. And you know what? When you start looking into their cases, like this has been going on for so long. It is disgusting. Like, they need to just wipe that whole place out and start afresh.
I found other void sentences for other people, like on accident.
Wow.
There's one in the YFN RICO that I found accidentally. It's actually another. It's the same two. How we were talking earlier about how they're the two gun. There's the less severe. There's like the possession gun, possession of a fire, pew pew, and then there's the other one. It's like the same two statutes that they mixed up, but in a different way. So I found another void on the YFN. I think there might be another. There's at least one more in YSL. I think there's another. There are more. I mean, and it does go back a long way. I mean, it goes back. They've been making the same mistake for 20 years. So I don't know about 20, but well over a decade. And like the same one, and it's been appealed. And they either know or they should know. I mean, there's so much wrong.
So did you check? So, because I know that you dig deep. So you said that it's been appealed. So have any of these instances been reversed on appeal because of this issue?
It would.
I mean,
They usually just fix it. They would just. They don't have to reverse it. They just say. I mean, I guess that's not technically reversal, but yeah, basically, it has been addressed on appeal.
oh, okay, it's been addressed on appeal, but it doesn't change the sentence for the defendant.
They usually just the appellate court usually just enter an order itself, like fixing the mistake. Yes,
But they continue to do it. But they continue to do it.
It seems like it.
All right. That's why I'm saying that they should be held accountable for some of the things that they're doing and for just being lazy. Because that's at this point, that's what that is.
Yeah. There are capable people in that office, but it seems like the wrong things get rewarded. And there are some talented people who choose to use their talents in an unproductive way. And there are some people who just aren't talented. But there are the really dangerous ones are the ones who are talented, but use it to cover up mistakes or to secure sentences that shouldn't be secured. Okay, I'm not going to say more about that. But there are a variety of people. There are a variety of problems, both in that office and in this specific case, and in Mr. Sledge's case, even more specifically. But that'll all come out.
I cannot I cannot wait. You are making me like so excited for this to happen, and I don't think that you could be paired with a better person. In ATL, I love the Fit Lawyers ATL. I love her work. I love her passion. And although what's going on with my mother, I've been bogged down with taking care of my mom. I haven't been able to watch like I want to, but I'm intrigued. So I'll probably, for this, if it's live streamed, I'll be in Cat Not Williams chat, because I'm pretty sure Cat is going to go live with this. I'm sure if it's live streamed, Cat Not Williams will be live streaming it. She's in the chat, so that's why I'm doing that. She's in the chat, and I wouldn't watch a YSL case with anywhere else, but at Cat Not Williams, when she is live streaming that those trials, the trial over there. I just have a few questions, so I'm not going to ask. I had a question I'm not going to ask because you kind of answered it already, and I don't want you cannot give that away. So we'll see. I kind of we've already got the answer list, but I want to ask you a question. This is like kind of a rapid fire. It's about 3 questions that I have now. I had 4, now there's 3. What is the best ridiculous objection that you've ever heard? We're going to switch gears here. What is the best? Or if you can use this case if you want to, but you can, or if you've heard something somewhere else in a different case, what is the best ridiculous objection?
Ridiculous objection? Man, I can't think of it off the top of my head.
It's called rapid fire, Jeff.
I don't know. I was thinking of the once in a YSL where somebody would object and then just not say anything and then just kind of mumble some noises that weren't really words and then just slowly trail off into nothingness. And then everyone would just sit there quietly and awkwardly for a second, and then everyone would just move on. Those were my favorites.
My favorites is Daryl Brooks. Objection. I do not consent to being called that name, even though that's his name. Objection.
I didn't think about that one. That's a good one. That's a good point.
Objection. I do not. And I have a question about that. Now, for inmates that are pro se or pro per, if you will, because Daryl Brooks I am not pro se. I'm pro per. Sort of the same thing, Daryl Brooks, but he's getting another trial, and he just fought to get his attorney released again. And I don't know if you saw that or not. I watched the hearing. You didn't? You didn't watch it? The hearing?
No, I didn't see that. No, I don't really know him beyond the memes, to be honest.
Right. So I mean, you don't want to know him beyond the memes, but he fought to have his attorney removed, and you can
Mhm.
tell I watched the trial, so I can tell in the hearing that he's going to do the same thing he did in his original trial. He was just playing nice. It was almost it almost hurt him not to come out. What he's going to do again. Do you think in that case, and I know the law, because of the law, that they should have allowed him, and he even said in the hearing that he knows that because he will be representing himself, that this is going to cause issues. It's going to cause, with him, with his case, he's in a jail, which I've never heard of them not. I've never heard of it not being public record where an inmate is housed. Where he's housed is not public. Um, do you think that the judge could have said, "Listen, you are telling us the issues that you are already facing before the retrial starts. So no,
Mhm.
I'm not going to allow you to release your attorney." Do you think that she could have made that decision? Just based on what I'm telling you is exactly just what happened.
I mean, it would
He
have to be
said,
for the right reasons. It can't just be because he's difficult or because he's, him. It has to be. I mean, he got himself the new trial, right? He represented himself.
no,
To
he
get
got the new
trial.
trial with an attorney.
Okay,
He
that
had an
doesn't help.
attorney. So when
Okay,
he
that's the one
before
he released. Okay.
Right. So though that's the one he released. He said him and the attorney had no issues. He had no issues with his attorney. Nothing was wrong. He really didn't have uh, a reason for why he wanted to let the attorney go. But he did let them know he uh, before the judge granted the release that he knew that he was going to have like big issues, because he was like, yeah, because basically where I'm at is a whole different ball game. They work different than the other places where I've been, so I
Yeah.
know I can't even get my stuff in. Based on that, can a judge say, well, because of that? No.
No, I don't think so. That would be to see like a difference in strategy or a difference in they have a disagreement on how to handle the case as
No, he
opposed
had no
to
reason why he wanted to let this attorney go. He just wanted to represent himself.
I thought you said that they okay, well if there's no disagreement on strategy, as long as he
Nope.
has a reason, as long as there's like not even a reason, he just wants to and he's saying
He just wanted to.
yeah, I mean you're allowed to you have the right to defend yourself. It's
No,
more
okay.
like I mean, if he's so hard because it's Gerald Brooks. If he's mentally like he can't, perceive reality and doesn't know what's going on, then that would be a reason not to let him defend himself. But it sounds like he just is a difficult guy.
Okay, well,
um,
I think I'm gonna be streaming that one because I already know him and Judge Doro, they
yeah,
sparred off. They sparred the last time, and
yeah.
I hate
I
that
mean,
the count.
yeah. I mean, there are a million different things that could go into it, so I could be completely wrong. But that's just my first thing,
Yeah,
and
I
I think
think he just
they more than sparred. they went all the way.
I think it just is a delay tactic on his, and he's trying to delay, and for what I don't know. I don't see him. I see him getting found guilty all over again for all of the counts, all 76 counts, guilty. I feel bad for the for Waukesha, but I can't wait till that trial comes up as well.
I didn't even know he
Um,
got a new trial. I need to look that up.
Yeah, the hearing was, I think I have the video of the hearing on my page somewhere. It was recently. And the hearing isn't that long. So yeah, definitely look it up, and yeah, tell me what you think, and if you're going to do a video on it, I'm gonna look for it, cuz hopefully you will do a video on it and kind of break it down, because it just was like you could see when he rolled his eyes up in his head, like I'm trying to hold my tongue as long as I can till you grant me the release of my
Yeah.
attorney. You can see it.
There's an inmate in Georgia down in, there are so many counties. Was it Glenn County? No, he's in Coffee County or Glenn County, somewhere in like southeast Georgia. And he sent me this thing. It related to a motion for a new trial. And the state didn't turn over the fact that another suspect, there's an interview and somebody told them that another suspect had confessed to the crime.
Oh.
And the police said that because they had disclosed that the other person had been a suspect, that it wasn't a Brady violation to not disclose that there had been a confession.
Oh.
Now, they didn't have the confession itself. It was just somebody saying that this other guy had confessed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they said that because they knew that he was a suspect, that was just as good as knowing that somebody had told the police that he
confessed to it,
and they denied his motion for a new trial. And then next after that, he goes to his habeas. There's an appeal, and that gets denied. Then there's a habeas, and he has the habeas hearing. Then he waits 7 years for the order to come through, and it's from an entirely different judge. And that also denies his appeal. So I'm not like working on that case because it's in Georgia and I'm thousands of miles away. But I've been looking at it lately. It's pretty. It's so far out there that there's not really a lot to look at. There's no like past case where somebody waited 7 years for the court to issue its order. But yeah, apparently the judge, I think that what happened is the judge retired before he entered an order. And they just forgot about him. I think that's what happened.
Wow. So yeah, I do want to ask you a question. Now, is that the case that are you thinking about working on that case, even though you said, or is another? Because I know you may be doing something else in ATL. You said, is this that case, or is it?
I mean, there's no, it's not that case. This wouldn't be anywhere near Atlanta. No, I'm still just reading about it for now. I mean, I want to, but I want to do all these things, So, yeah, I'm limited on what I can do there, but I can try to make something happen see if I can convince another lawyer in Georgia to take it, or I have ideas, I have plans. I'm scheming, but I'm clear.
I mean, and anybody would be should be grateful to have you as part of a team if you team up with them. I mean, even though you're far away, because you do so much research and you find these little things that mean a lot to a case.
You know what's funny is that a lot of times the defendant knows the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mounk Tounk knew, like I said, Mounk Tounk knew what was wrong during his testimony. It's not like, did I find out also? Yes, but he knew. He just needed somebody to take him seriously and to look at it. Like I said, it's not, do I find stuff that's small, like, and complicated? Yes, but sometimes it's not. And with Mounk Tounk, with the plea agreement, and this guy who waited 7 years, I mean, anyone who just looked for 10 seconds at the calendar would have noticed, but nobody listened to him. Everyone just ignored him. And sometimes it's not finding stuff, it's just, I don't know. It's not difficult to find, you just have to look for it. And ask people and keep an open mind. I think that was one of the problems with Mounk Tounk's case was people were so ready to assume that he was lying and he was wrong, that when it was said at his probation revocation hearing that he'd used his first offender status 3 times, that didn't raise any red flags for anybody. That they really thought that the courts had just messed up multiple times and used his first offender status 3 times.
3 times? Yeah, that's crazy.
They just accepted that, like, oh, that must have been a mistake on the court's part. Or in Fulton County, they never thought that maybe they should look at the 3 first offender cases and see if they're real.
Right, because you say he had, you said he had a case that involved SA. Remember, I told you we couldn't say that word, and that it's totally false.
Yeah, it never happens.
That's crazy.
Like, really obvious. Like they said, it happened in the case with in the 2015 case, the Alfred Plea case. That's the case they said it happened in. Which that is not what that case is about. That was wow. That was I don't know. I'm trying to think of what things how to describe it without like messing with your demonetization. But that was a different case. It was something else entirely. And
yeah, they probably won't. It doesn't. The demonetization is not. You can say, because I would rather, and it's a serious thing. Like, no, if that's a pretty serious charge, and that's a pretty serious jacket to wear, and it's not true.
What's crazy?
So,
I want to emphasize
do I
that point.
care? I don't care about that monetization at this point. Like, if it happened, it's happened. It happened, and if whatever they say is true, that is a pretty heavy jacket to wear. You can say it. They just want you to say it a certain way. Certain things you can't say, but whatever. That's something serious, and I think that I don't care if you say it.
That's one of the things. Think about that. We could have brought that up. We could have put that in our motion. I could have put that in, an introduction or something. But that's the sort of thing that I didn't put in the motion because he was willing to wear that jacket if he could get to that graduation. He was fine.
Wow.
All the lies that they told. Think about that. He was willing to have that follow him around for the rest of his life to get there. That's what he's willing to sacrifice.
That's crazy.
Now I get to use it. And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of made up stuff. And,
wow. Hold on a minute. Give me 1 minute. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm still here. I just got to change my So
that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's me actually. That's I used to do a little professional modeling. I took part of my portfolio and animated it. And so that's one of the animations that I selected. It's like, so was it Star Wars like?
Yeah.
And so yeah, they used my picture, animated the picture, but they used like a Star Wars background. So it's pretty. All the graphics you see except the little girl flying around, I made her. But the other ones are me. From when I was modeling a little bit. I just animated them to use them as my avatars.
Yeah, no, I was saying I just checked my video on YouTube. I can see the problem now. This looks completely different on mine. That's funny.
Is it mine? I don't know. It's just see what I'm seeing. It's probably on YouTube. I don't know. I got a new camera. Listen, I'm telling you, last time I was like, wait a minute. I don't know. So maybe it's just system because I have to make a decision about which streaming system that I want to use. I was, looking to go somewhere else, but anyway, nonetheless,
yeah,
I'll figure it out. So I'm happy that you decided to, take this case, and I'm very excited about the work you do, and not just in this case, the way you go over legal documents and point out like issues that are, just, oh wow, I zoomed the wrong way. I'm zooming in.
You reminded me of like when I first started reading the case, like
I
was just convinced that I was wrong. like, why can I not see what am I not getting? And it, like, half the battle was like accepting that there were that many mistakes.
Wow.
So yeah, that was that was a challenge.
So I don't know if anybody really has been following or keeping up, and I'm just saying this. I did see. I want to say, was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yak did get baptized. I mean, I thought it was a beautiful thing. And for him to be home and to, I guess he took some time with his family, but I did see that he did, get baptized, and he's taking that whole thing serious. So that was a moment that put a smile on my face to see that he's home, reacclimating himself with society, and actually to see him and Doug together, and Doug hanging with the boys, and they show him how the car goes up and down and stuff. And Doug is just the coolest thing to me. Another cool lawyer that I love. I've come to love through this case. Shout out to Kat for streaming the trial, because that's where I started watching it at, because I didn't watch the full trial, but it was very intriguing. And then for all of what you do, a lot of people would say thank you to lending your your expertise. And with time, I think you're going to be overbooked, Jim. I think people are going to start saying, like, wait a minute, because they need attorneys that pay attention to detail, because it could be the people don't I'm not going to say people in general, but some people don't understand that one word changes the whole sentence, like the whole meaning of something. You can add a word to something, it changes the whole meaning, puts you in a whole nother space. It can be the thing that gets you life to, being not guilty. A lot of people are like, one word can do that. So it's love you for what you do.
No, never mind. I was trying to decide whether to say something. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, it's fun. I like it. It's like a puzzle. It's like putting together a puzzle or taking a puzzle apart. It's satisfying. And I think that the law has kind of built this wall of formality between like lawyers and non-lawyers, but I actually think it's funny. I think Georgia's they like keep a very formal style, but I think there are a lot of people who are capable of doing it. There are a lot of non-lawyers who are capable of digging in and researching stuff, and maybe they need some like help getting started. But I like the way that courts are beginning to become more and more transparent, and there are more eyes on all these cases, and
definitely, there's a lot of cases out here that don't get a lot of, it's not the popular case. I did want to ask you, did you watch any of the Lori Vallow case?
No, was that which one was that? Was that the one with the?
She is the crazy. She is the crazy lady. Like, I think she just had her fourth conviction. She just received her fourth conviction. She's the lady that had her 2 kids unalive. She unalived her.
Oh, the cult one, right?
Yes.
There's the guy.
Doomsday mom. Cult mom. Yeah, her.
That's not good. You shouldn't do that.
Did you watch any of that? Oh.
Let me see. No, I think I watched some. I've watched some coverage of it. I don't remember who. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I just covered the last trial that she had. I think that she should be charged with her brother's unaliving. I'm waiting for that to come. I'm waiting. I believe that they will. The brother that she had a brother that she used to do all of these things for her, and he passed away unexpectedly. I think that she had something to do with it. So I'm looking to see that.
Is she already doing life? She already probably has a life sentence, right?
She was found guilty of the unaliving of her 2 kids. Her
they might
new husband.
They might not want to bother. It might be too expensive to like do a whole other murder trial.
Well, she's already asking for a retrial for the trial that she got found guilty of, but she already has another trial scheduled. It starts next week. And then her next victim, or either the week after next. I know it was 2 weeks after she was sentenced, so maybe week after next. And it's for her next victim is still alive. She tried to unalive him. It didn't work. He's still here. It was a young man that was married to her niece. His name is Brandon Bordeaux. So she's going to trial for that.
She probably. I wouldn't want to join that family. That sounds dangerous. So YNW Melly has a thing this week. He has a bond hearing, I think, after being in jail for 2,300 days, I think, without a conviction.
Let me tell you something. His rights are not just being trampled on. There is I was a correction officer for 7.5 years. There is no way. I don't care how bad of an inmate you are, or in his case, he's supposedly so famous. The way they have him isolated is wrong. The way they don't allow him to see his attorney is wrong. You could never. I don't care if you're the worst inmate in history. You cannot, when it comes to an attorney and inmate privilege, even if they're in a hole, there's not much that you can do. And so the way that they are doing him is unconstitutional. And these are the type of cases where, I think that a higher court should have already, stepped in somehow. If he is guilty of doing what he did, or what they charged him with, he deserves to be charged. But he's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I have not seen a bigger case of, I think his injustice is worse. I don't know which is worse, YSL or his. I don't.
Just different. I
don't.
Antonio has been in solitary confinement since October.
Let me tell you something. Like I'm just solitary confinement is one thing, but they are not. His attorneys were allowed to speak to him by phone. They couldn't visit him though. And they could visit him. Let me correct that. They could visit him between a glass partition with the phone where he talks. Newsflash. Even those phones, even though you're not calling home and they're saying this call is being recorded, those phones that they use in the visitation booths are recorded. So the prosecution has the defense's strategy, because I'm sure that they went and got those recordings.
Yeah. I mean, I think in this case, especially with the search warrants for the lawyers' cell phone.
Oh yeah,
iPod.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Antonio's been in solitary 23-hour lockdown this entire time, and he only got like one phone call a week, so it was tough getting in touch. But yeah, he gets special treatment.
So what they did was in jails, because of the gang history, like where they have like real gangs, like, and they do have gangs in all of the jails, right? So what the jail started doing was housing them together, so they won't house them with other prisoners. a lot of the jails started housing them together. So your gang, these are the problem is they're different sets of gangs. So once they started housing them and together, they started with this 23-hour lockdown for them, because even when they put them together, it was still a tragedy. And that is, unfortunately, that is part of a part of jail. But here you have this guy coming in to prison. He's not even supposed to be there. Is he on I'm not sure how Georgia runs it, because according to them, it's like they just have gang members everywhere. So what is the reason for them locking him down? Right. What is the reason for him being locked down for 23 and a half hours a day?
Yeah. Well, it's solitary. So it's solitary 23.
So why is he in solitary confinement?
I'm sure it's because they don't want anything to happen to him. For appearances, if something were to happen to him now, you know how
for appearances, I get, yeah.
Like they're saying it's like it's for his own good. It's like,
well, because y'all know he's not supposed to be there.
You guys have done so much for his good. You've been so concerned with looking out for his own good this whole time. I should be fair. I've actually the prison people have been really good, actually. I'll give credit where it's due. They actually turned around my engagement letter in less than a day. The mail came in, he signed it, and they sent it all back out in less than a day. They've been really good with setting up communications. So I've been happy with the prison people, but
so a lot of people get that confused. So I'm glad that you're saying, because like the corrections is totally different, and the judges have no jurisdiction over what happens in a prison or a jail. So like when Brian Steele said if you lock me up, can you put me in a room with my client so that we can work on our case together? The judge, instead of him saying, I have nothing to do with that, he said, let me see if I can remember, what is his name? Glanville said, let me see what I can do. It's nothing that you can do. It's not, supposedly there's nothing that you can do, because that's a security breach. Glanville is not even supposed to know what goes on in the jail, like what about their security system. That's why you hear a lot of judges say when inmates ask them in other cases, like in different areas, they'll say, I have nothing to do with jail. Somebody like saying what Glanville said, let me see what I can do. You're confusing people, and that's why when a judge says there is nothing I can do about the security of the jail, a lot of people are outraged, like, what do you mean there's nothing that you can do? No, that's the truth. There is nothing that a judge can tell a warden about security and how to run the security in the jail. He's the referee over the court. He has nothing to do with the jail. So Glanville, I was like, what are you sitting up there talking about? Like, you have nothing to do with that.
He can ask.
He can ask.
There are orders to keep. You can enter an order to keep them separate, right? To keep them separate.
More than likely, if they would have sent Brian Steele to Rice Street or wherever, they would have. Brian Steele they would not have put him with Jeffrey Williams, even especially because he asked, for one, and for two, he definitely wouldn't have been in a cell with anybody because of who he is. And they would have had they would have had like an extra detail, like keep their eye on them. That's what would happen in a different area. I'm pretty sure Fulton County would have done the same thing because of Brian Steele and who he is. They wouldn't have put him in it.
Don't let the defendants near him. There'll be too many exonerations. You gotta keep them apart.
Yeah, exactly. Normally, so in the state of New Jersey, when an attorney, a doctor, or anyone like that, when they are sentenced to a crime, they have a whole special facility that they go to, and it's called the Adult Diagnostic Center. It is a jail, but that is where they put like your attorneys, your doctors, or whatever have you, that are incarcerated for whatever crime they have. A lot of them are incarcerated for PDF charges, if you know what PDF is. a lot of them get
digital file.
No, it's not.
Yeah, man, that's messed up. Put it on everybody. If there's that's the reason, that's one thing. But if they're lawyers and doctors,
they're locked up for SA. A lot of them are incarcerated for SA, and if you went in this facility, you would be like, what the heck? Like, so it's not like. Alexa, I did not say your name. I don't know why you're talking to me, Alexa. But
she said Alexa in chat.
She said, "Oh, I thought I heard my name." Yeah, so they have a whole jail for them, but they wouldn't put Brian Steele with him. I know they wouldn't have. I mean, Glenville can ask. If they would have, it would actually look bad for the jail to put him in a room with Jeffrey because Glenville asked them to. So, I mean, in Fulton County, a lot of them, from what we see, don't care.
Yeah, he would run in. I think he was in Cobb. I think they had him separate. Him and like one other person was in Cobb. I think. I didn't want him even dug into my street. Too much danger.
Right. Yeah, I think Duggar. He was isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Allie worked in youth corrections, so she says, I know in youth corrections where I am, all the keep away orders or the keep separate orders is done through community correction, not the court. Yeah, they don't. No jail does anything through the courts. That's why you hear the judge say they don't have. But I think AOBD did have something up here. He said he wonders if Whitwit, that's Whitaker, is punishing him because of the wipe his nose thing, as he was dismissed on his last day. So the last day that Antonio Sledge was leaving the courtroom, I guess he wiped it. Listen, how are you going to stop that? Like, it is ridiculous to me. You have a lot of your high profile, like your athletes that use that. A lot of the young kids. They do that. They use an exhibit in this trial of the young lady sitting behind Roddy Wave, the young girl, and she did that. Like,
I don't think that's like. I don't even think it's a personal thing, but if it were, I don't think that would be the reason. I don't think that would get under her skin.
Oh, as far as it relates to Mounk Tounk you're talking about.
Yeah. I think if she were a villain person, it would be, something that was said or something during the testimony. But I don't know.
I don't think that Whitaker to me was. I think Whitaker was looking at the prosecution as being above board. So she took a lot of what they said at face value, and then she realized that some point, like, oh snap.
Yeah, I think some of the information just wasn't put in front of her, and I think you can tell during the revocation hearing that she can tell something's not right. She knows something's. She just can't quite put her finger on it. There's a moment where she's pausing and thinking. I think she noticed something. I think she knew something wasn't quite right, but it just the information wasn't there, wasn't in front of her. So I'll give her some credit, but
yeah, she did some things different, and actually got this case moving along. So, shout out to her for what she did do, but there's some things I think she could have done a little different, but she did move the case along and did bring some fairness to it. So,
yeah, for sure.
We can't say that, Whitaker is all bad because she's not. I'm not going to say that.
No, not at all. And like even her order that I guess it was granting our motion, but partly denying our motion. Her reasoning was sound. I don't think it's unfair. I mean, my disagreement with it isn't because I think she's, unfair or a bad judge or anything like that. But it's a reasonable disagreement. I have nothing bad to say.
But you know what I do have an issue with, and I do have a question for you too. So with this new like YSL Part 2, right? Um,
Yes.
they I was so upset. I was listening to the trial one day, and because I was driving, I was so upset because they were, having like a hearing about how they were going to introduce things and all this other stuff, and
Yeah.
they were trying to decide whether they were going to call this the YSL trial and how they were going to
Yeah.
introduce Williams into
I
this
remember that.
trial. I
Yeah.
was so bothered by that.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of have to. Man, there's one of those three people I've been looking into a ton lately, and actually, no, I'll just stop my client. I can say it. It's Demise McMullen. I think there is major problems with that case, but yeah, they have to bring him up because he's the leader, but
he didn't. But he did not. He did not plead guilty. That he wasn't found guilty of that, though.
yeah, I mean, he did plead guilty to some of it, but I mean, they have to talk about him. Like, he's in the indictment so often, and they're gonna be arguing a lot of the same things that were already. I'm sure they're gonna argue that Shannon was the shooter of the Donovan Thomas. I mean, the pew-pewer of Donovan Thomas. They're gonna have to make arguments like they're gonna. A certain investigator said that YSL doesn't even have a leadership structure, but they're gonna have to argue in this new trial that Young Thug was the leader for any of this to make sense. I can't wait to see what they argue. What they don't understand is they've said so much. This has been going for so long. They've said so many different things that they've disagreed with themselves, and if so many times they've changed their minds, and all of that can be used to, contradict witnesses and impeach witnesses in argument.
You know what the crazy thing is, and shout out to Doug. And I'm not somebody had to tell. The only song I knew of his was "Lifestyle." That's the only song. Now I probably know more songs than that, but somebody would have to tell me. Of course, I'm interested in what he comes out with, but his new logo. This is the craziest thing. You got this whole YSL RICO case going on, and his new logo, I mean, which is pretty dope. It's and the name of his record label is still YSL. Any way you look at it, it's just sometimes I want to just like bang my head up against the wall. Like, come on, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I get it. I get that they're trying to implicate and what they're trying to say, but this man's business still is his business, and it's going to remain his business. He just came out with a new logo and everything. So the fact that y'all still in court with this nonsense all these years later says a lot.
Yeah. McMullen's.
Yeah.
I'm worried about McMullen. I'm worried about his case. He's.
Allie was hoping that. So there's Allie. Allie was hoping that you were going to take that case. She was thinking like, I was like, I don't know if it's a conflict of interest or not. Because he's on the McMullen case.
Yeah. Never mind.
He's tight-lipped about that one.
I've looked at his like more than I do most. I think he could. Never mind. I've thought about it.
You thought about it? So he's thought about. See, he's not going to say anything, and that's what I love about Jim. Jim is going to look at stuff in the background, and Jim is just going to pop out.
Yeah. I mean, I would need to get. I need to get the judge's permission before I did anything like. Actually.
Yeah.
Let's see if.
You look kind of not guilty, but you have you got a glow on your face when you said that. So, but we're gonna leave it alone. Just
I'll say
keep
this.
going and go ahead.
Like if I think that there are things that could be done for him by somebody. I think that there are real problems in this case that somebody could use. I think his case should be dismissed. I think there are grounds for dismissal of his case entirely.
Look at you.
It's bad. They messed up, and they said some stuff they should not have said. They always say too much. It's an interesting one.
It's definitely a case that it's gotten so much attention to where they don't even understand the people in different areas that are looking to work with these men because of Fulton County, and it's not a great light for Fulton County. So Fulton County is the reason why Woody is who he is and as big as he is. And when they bought him, it was a Johnny Cochran law firm that they were looking for him to bring him to a class one night. And I'm like, hey, y'all, anybody seen Woody? Because they looking for him. And they actually brought him and to as a part of a class that they were teaching, a law class, to tell them what not to do when you're dealing with somebody like Woody. And here he is in front of all these law students with the Johnny Cochran firm in Fulton County. You look you are the reason why he is, as big as he is. And now he's trying to change his life and they are harassing him now. It's pretty disturbing to see. You guys you made him a star witness. He talked about it again last week. He didn't want to be their star witness. But of course, you went years of going inside and talking to them and telling them what they wanted to hear. So it's kind of I wish it didn't happen. Things didn't happen the way they happened, but they did. But now that he's done, I don't know about if he has to come and testify in this case too, but they have been harassing him to the point they've been trying to arrest him lately. Every time he comes outside, they stop him. Every single time. It's sad. He keeps going live each time. So he did a YouTube video about it the other night.
Yeah, that's bad. It's bad. I'll leave it there.
I know.
There is a targeting. They're definitely targeting people who are involved in that case. They have been. The families of people who have been involved in that case.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. It was very hard to watch. And he was asking he said, every time you pull me over, I'll pull over. Every time I'm respectful. It's enough to push anybody over the edge, and I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to push him to a level of where he used to be so that they can arrest him, because that's how they used to do him before. But he used to fall into it. Like you said, Mounk Tounk, I'm willing to admit to this to get home to my children. So he's willing to say that this person did this if you're gonna let me go home, not knowing he didn't know the law at the time. So now you have this term on your back, but now you want to turn it all around, and they are not letting you be a law-abiding citizen quietly. They want you to. He's helping children. He's doing. Do I agree with what he? No, I don't agree with everything that not at all. That's not me. They got a job to do. They got to do their job, right? Let them do their job. But now that he did what he did, and now that he's out here trying to be a law-abiding citizen, he's trying to tell children, do not go the way that I went. He's trying to do it, and every time he does, they come outside, they stop him.
Yep.
They stop him every single time.
They will break every law. They will break many laws to get what they want. I can make a stronger RICO case against them than they can against one. It's not close.
Don't tell me that, because I'll be like, let's do it, Jim. Let's do it. He said, no, he's not. He's not. So he's not. He's looking. He looks at a lot of paperwork. So he's not actually representing him. No. He's looked at it. If that's something that he's going to do, he would have to get permission from a judge. But as of right now, no. He's not. He's just looking at the paperwork as he does. He looks at a lot of paperwork, and that's what I love about him. He does.
Yeah, there's a different codependent that I'd be more likely to work on actually. This he's he's not one of those three, but one of the first 25.
Oh, okay. So it's somebody else that he's looking at. He may be considering. So, right now he doesn't want to. So we are not gonna dig, because Jim, he likes to look at paperwork and he likes to pop out. Yeah. So Jim is here on YouTube under the Happily Angry Lawyer. Ali, if you can drop his link in the chat one more time. He is on the Patreon under the same moniker. He is on X under the same, anywhere. He's even on TikTok. So you know what? I have to say I have not been back over on your TikTok, because I really don't go on TikTok like that. And I have been busy with my mother. But have you done anything on TikTok? Now I'm gonna have to go over there and look. Are you just still sharing?
I think I commented like one or two times. I even started to follow Doug. He's a TikTok star, That's his thing.
Oh, who, Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug is a natural on TikTok. I know that he's actually a TikToker. He's more active on TikTok than I am. I just have it. So I just wanted to ask, I know because you were undecided about what you wanted to do as far as TikTok went.
Yeah. It's tough. I need to build up. I need to build up ahead of steam. I gotta build up. And TikTok's all you gotta be ready to go right at the start.
Yeah.
Wait, no, they have I don't know what I'm talking about. Why am I pretending that I know what I'm talking about TikTok? I don't know. Maybe I will.
TikTok is more, to me, is like somebody, no, you're right. It's somebody that you're more of like I said, that's the Twitter clapback king. I think that people have their favorite platforms. Like Kat Not Williams, she streams trials over here, but she's active on Twitter too. Like very active on Twitter. More active than I am on Twitter. I'll come to when you see something posted to Twitter, I'm going live, I just do it from one platform. I don't even go over there. But sometimes I'll go over there. I'll come out and what is Jim talking about today? Who asked him what today? I'll go over there. I look at certain accounts. So, but I'm not really active over there. So I think TikTok for me is more like you having to turn the camera on a lot, and they do a lot. It's a lot of you may be, I don't know. I do some videos I don't know, but great job. Now so Trikisha McNeil said hello. Hey. Trikisha, I know you following him over there are you following him over here on YouTube? We want to get him over to 2K now. He's a 1K plus. He didn't even know. Yes. We need to get him to 2K. Y'all go over there and watch his video so we can get him monetized. Jim, I need you to behave. You don't be misbehaving on your channel.
No, not really. I will after this. Oh, I'll be misbehaving after. If it goes the way I want it to.
I loved your young Doug. I loved your young Doug. Yeah, when you went over the young Doug documents when they tried to revoke his bail. I loved that because you kept saying Jeffrey Williams maybe not Jeffrey Williams because his name is spelled wrong.
Yeah, it's
Is that I was over here cracking up. I said, okay, Jim is coming out of his shell a little bit. So
There's
I was
one
on board
defendant.
that.
I
So,
learned this week. This week I learned this. There's a defendant in the case. I'm not gonna say who, but his name is spelled two different ways, and I thought I knew which one was right. And this week I discovered that it was neither, and that his name is actually something else. Like,
so in that case, right?
Yeah.
Because the state is actually causing the alias, is that something that a defendant can be found not guilty on? Like, of course, the case if because when somebody is arrested, if they give you a false name, you write down the false name that they give you. But then if you find out through fingerprinting that they're actually somebody else, then it becomes an alias. But if you cause the alias because of something that you did on your end, as the person that's like booking them in, is that something that a judge can? Is that something that you as an attorney would fight against? And is that something that a judge could say, well, that's not him?
I guess. I'm just gonna pull something up real quick to check something. You can't use it like after the fact. You can't like get through the trial or plead guilty and then after the fact be like, that's not my name, by the way. But up front, if you like at the very beginning, if you say that's not me, then yeah, you can definitely.
And they leave it there because there are cases and instances where it may not even be the prosecution necessarily, right? Because a defendant could be getting arrested and like the police officer could have typed it in wrong, or they could be booked into a correctional facility because once they're taken from jail to a correctional facility, they can type it wrong and then they may tack it on as a alias. But if like in between those two, like, so say a police officer books the inmate, a detainee in on one name, and then they take them to the jail messes it up, and now it becomes an alias. I already know, like, if the defendant says at that time, I didn't tell you that was my name, you spelled it wrong, they legally have to remove that, because an alias is a charge.
Can I share my screen real quick?
Sure. Can you share it out now?
Okay. I think I figured it out.
You think you figured it out? Hey, what's up, Amy E? Good evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. Free Antonio Sledge. That's what I'm talking about, for real. Because that's crazy.
Well, let's look at some. All right, I did that on the side. Can you see like a
presentation thing? You see on the bottom? Where it says, do you have the computer thing on your side?
Yeah, I did it, and should be an option on this side.
Share screen.
It's on my left side. Yeah, this screen.
Yeah, it should allow you to, if you see those options over there. It's like Gabe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's in the waiting room or something.
Oh, duh! I see it. All right. Let me move.
Okay, so this is my guy. But where about this? These are his aliases.
Wow.
Antonio Brooks. Antonio Shepard. Charles Shepard. Kenny Shepard. Anthony Sledge. That's an interest. That's really close to Antonio. Right. Anthony Bernard Sledge. His name, Antonio Bernard Sledge, Charles Sledge, Perry Sledge, and Antonio Smith. Some of those are just mistakes. Some of those are just other people. But like,
what?
I don't know who Kenny Shepard is. Kenny Shepard? I don't know. Yeah, and none of these, they don't even have Mounk Tounk, his actual nickname, in here, which is even funnier. But yeah. That's quite a list.
Like you are not,
Oh, and
you
then
are not supposed to, like when you're like Fulton County baffles me anyway. When I saw the video, when I saw the report about when they went into that jail and the report that they came out with, first of all, as an officer, I would never even work in a jail like that. It is such a huge breach of security to work with in a area where there's a broken cell door. That's the minor
Yeah.
thing that.
Oh.
Oh wait a minute! Unless you're sharing something else, I can just.
Yeah.
That's a minor thing. If an inmate came into a facility and there was and the door was broke, we wouldn't use that cell. So to see the report in the door, if one of the doors was swinging back and forth, I'm like, what the heck? And then another thing, the filth in the jail. As an officer, you work in there, you have to work there. You are inhaling all of that stuff.
Yeah.
There was no way I would work there. I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but in the jails where I worked, if you were to come in here, you would be like, oh my gosh, you can almost use the, what do they call it? The 5-second rule. When you drop something, you can pick it up. You know how the kids say, oh, whatever. Is it 5 seconds, 2 seconds? You would think that. Because what is that? I couldn't believe that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's right. Like they have to be there too.
You have to be there too, and anything that they inhale, you inhale. Any filth that they sit around, like.
There was a point where they're like, so many of the doors didn't work. Like, is this really even still a jail? Like,
not with all.
It seems like you can just walk out the door.
Not with all those security, like no. So, and another thing. Like the officers there are in the bubble where I worked, we were right in the middle of the floor, and like in the cells were around us. Like it's no blocking. The inmates will walk right up. Like we would use the control panel as like a barrier because it sat on top of like a little steel desk. Like if you ever went to visit an inmate, they normally have a steel desk that's bolted to the wall, and then it comes down where you can put your stuff. That's how our desk was. It was like two of those put together and a control panel for each side. We would be sitting right there, and we would. They have like, it's not tape, but they painted a square around us. That's supposedly where they're supposed to stand, but they had access to us, like so. Yeah. We cleaned so much in there because we were right in there with them. Even if you're behind a glass, that's still not protecting you. You're not behind a cemented wall. There's still areas stuff can come under. So just as I just don't understand how these are, even if you are, because they said they hire an outside agency, how are you guys working in that field? Yeah, I don't understand it. Yeah, it's not safe for the officers. It's not safe for the inmates there.
Yeah, I know there are sections where they're just, the electricity's just cut off and it's just pitch black.
Let me tell you something. We would not, I wouldn't be working. I wouldn't be working, but with anything, like you guys are attorneys, so there's a bar association that oversees and makes sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's with anything, like a realtor. You have the realtors association and stuff that looks over the realtors. You have to have so many continuing education credits a year in order to keep your license. So in corrections,
oh God,
there is somebody hired. The state comes and does inspections. How are they passing an inspection?
Yeah.
This is not the first inspection, I'm sure, that was this bad.
No, but I don't know. I don't have the answers.
I know you don't. I mean, we're having a conversation, but what the heck are you going to do about all those aliases that I mean, is there anything that you can do? I mean, I think you're saying, are you saying because all of this happened after he already served time, there was nothing that they can do about all of those aliases? If that's a part of your defense and you can't talk about it, then let's not.
No. I mean, I don't think it'll come up. We don't really have any real. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything's bad has happened out of these things yet, for the most part.
Right.
We can fix it. It takes time, and
that is crazy.
We'll probably get to it eventually, but it's not in the top, whatever the number is.
Yeah, getting him home.
Top 10 things.
Yeah, getting him home is more important than that at this point, because it's been there for some time, right? So I know we've been here a while. It's Saturday. I know you want to.
Yeah.
I know you want to get out. And where is the cutie? Where is the dog?
Let me see. He's right here. I can go get him. Give me a second.
We want to see the dog, the cutie patootie.
I tried. He ran
away. All right. So we'll see your co-counsel at a later time. I'll see him, I'm sure, if you're on another channel. Or whatever. Sometimes he comes on. Now, do you have any last minute words for the chat?
Yeah, we'll be hearing from you soon.
Y'all, go over there and follow him on YouTube. Follow the Happily Angry Lawyer on YouTube right here. Let's run him up to 2K if we can. Share his channel out. And I got to make sure I have every live I was scheduling. Jim, I got to tell you that. What happened?
I didn't plug in my. Never mind. I didn't plug in my Ethernet cable. It's just sitting right next to my computer. I just noticed.
That's fine. So y'all go over there and follow the Happily Angry Attorney. He does go over court documents. He is an actual attorney. He is actually right now he is definitely co-counsel to on Antonio Sledge Mounk Tounk channel. And he's doing such a great job with going over documents where he finds so many issues with documents and makes them known. And so we want to continue to support him because he's doing such a great job over there. So when you get a chance, please go over there and sub up to him. Thank you so much for taking the time out, Jim, to come and speak with me today again.
It's helpful for me too, just to be able to talk through stuff. And sometimes I think of new things. It's helpful.
Definitely. We definitely have you back if you are willing to come back. I'll talk about it and reach out to you, and I always catch up. Yeah, if you're looking for some interesting content or paperwork, go over there and follow Jim on the Patreon. Now he has a couple of tiers.
I'll be adding a free tier too. I don't think I do enough. I'm gonna add a free tier. I haven't said that yet, but I don't really do a ton of it right now, so I'm gonna make it.
You're gonna make a free tier? Okay, then Jim, if you make a free tier, you might have to tweak a little bit of, some things.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you got a lot over there now. We'll go with it.
There's a lot.
It is a lot over there. You do have a lot over there. But, head on over to Patreon and follow him on Patreon. He's awesome. For the tiers that he has, I do think that he gives you a lot. I know you've been busy with the Antonio Sledge trial and just starting your YouTube channel. People don't realize that it's a lot.
Oh, I spent like thousands and thousands of dollars on getting all those documents. So you definitely get your money's worth. But I don't know. Didn't feel fair to keep what's not mine for hide it behind a paywall. So
I mean, your channel is whatever you want to do is up to you. But y'all go over there and support him, because he does great work. He does.
I'll take it.
He provides great. He provides a lot on his Patreon, actually, you guys. So you might want to go over there and check him out because, yeah, you will have access to the things he provides. So, um, that's
Yeah.
go over there and check it out for yourself. I'm a member. He will tell you he has a last tier. I'm not a
Yeah.
member of the last tier because he's like he tells you.
It was. It was for the joke.
It was
I needed to make the joke work, so I needed the extra tier.
I know this. I got the joke. That he has a last tier. Don't join it. But so I'm a tier below the last one. So I did get the joke. But Jim, you do great work. Keep keeping us informed. You do have fans here that love you. And Keisha said, like, he's awesome. I hear nothing but good things about you. I just want to tell you that also. So the fact that I'm even having the conversation about you, and it was a good, I don't really care about junk. So it was a good conversation, and we were just, me and Allie was going back and forth about that McMullen thing. So now we have like not a direct answer, but we know that you're not.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep checking back in.
I always do. I'll be over there. I'll stalk your Twitter. I don't be over there much, but I come over there for some people.
there wasn't very like substantive the last couple of weeks. I've been like working, but usually I'm more serious than I have in the last couple of weeks. But
no, it's good. We like that. We like that. You can't. Yeah. Don't stop that because we need that. We need that. I mean, yeah. And like we need to make light of something. So just stay who you are, Jim, because you're definitely different over here on the YouTube. You're different, but in a good way. So I'll talk to you later, Jim. Thank you so much for coming by.
All right. Yeah, of course. We'll talk again soon. All right. I'll plug in my internet this next time.
All right. No worries at all. I'm not taking this one down. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. So shout out to Allie. Thank you so much for the 5. She said shout out to Survivor Speaks and the Happily Angry Lawyer. I love Jim over here. And you guys follow him on all platforms. He is so awesome. And run him up to 2K. Share his channel, share his link. So we're gonna get out of here Saturday evening. Everybody enjoy yourself. I know that it's hot where I am, but it's supposed to rain. We're supposed to have some sun showers here. I'm going out. I'm going to bed. What time is it? 5:59. Y'all, I'm going to bed. Your girl is serious. So thank you for stopping by and hit that like button for free if you can. Thank you so much. Trakisha, good day. Thank you so much for coming by as well. Allie, thank you for always holding your girl down. I will talk to you. Nessa, I see you still in the building. Nessa, thank you so much for holding your girl down and always supporting and especially every time on Instagram, even though I don't do this content on Instagram. I really don't do. I put what I want on Instagram, but Nessa is always there, supporting and sharing everything. AOBD Amy E, thank you so much for stopping by, my love. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for clicking in. And anybody else that was here. So shout out to our channel sponsor for today is Allie, and we have Lynn Ali. I see that she renewed her membership. Thank you to her for that. When we weren't here. So I did add her and the banner as well. And I'm going to end the show as I always do by telling you, bringing awareness that men get breast cancer too. Because of the stigma surrounding the word breast, we have changed the word to chest and or pet cancer over here. Let's continue to bring awareness and that men get breast cancer too. And to my ladies, please make sure that you are getting your mammograms, filling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. And Don't you dare let anybody come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I'm Survivor Speaks. I'll see you guys. I don't know where I'm going with this, with my camera, y'all. Listen, give me a pass. I keep forgetting the camera is. Oh wow! Did I turned the camera off, y'all? So I'm gonna go ahead and put by. I'm gonna get out of here anyway. Oh, there I go. See you guys in the next video. I'm just a mess. Bye.
Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a leaf in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. Just if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Over here to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, grab your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speaks. What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.